for all the Ripple Moon boys, buckle up, because things could really get wild now. And now people are speculating that it will be lifted today through an executive order. Wow, that looks really bad. Yeah, it seems like a few people had a different idea about that yesterday. So when you look at the overall market situation, I'll get to that in a moment. What exactly happened yesterday? It was all about the inauguration. And now, there are really bullish news. XRP to the moon, starting Thursday. Why? Yes, I'll tell you that in a moment, especially since you know that this is about facts and not some dull hype. And that's why we're going to take a close look at this, because I have a big criticism of this whole cosmos and what's going on right now. But more on that in a moment. After the intro, today's video is brought to you by BingX. If you want to secure a €25 bonus now, then check out the description. Here's the registration. And for that, let's just take a look at the current chart. So we see here, I left it marked on purpose. Basically, the line that we definitely need to surpass, and that was this peak here, which has now been undercut again. And by the way, for anyone wondering what happened yesterday, yeah, that was nothing but a fake pump. Welcome to the market makers. They first made a killing here by driving the market up. The retailers rushed in like crazy. And yes, we see what happens. The downward movement here came. And now it's getting late. So according to Fibonacci, we have a strong line here that we should keep an eye on. However, we also have this testing of the last peak here. And now we just have to wait and see. I still say the news will first decide how things will go from here. From the RSI perspective, overall it looks pretty healthy. So we're kind of in the middle. There's definitely potential for an upward move. But like I said, now Trump has to deliver first. But now for everyone who didn't see the inauguration, what happened yesterday? Well, I explained it in the video yesterday too. In case you haven't seen it yet, feel free to click in here. Everything was just loaded up soon, etc. Did he say anything about that? So he briefly touched on inflation, or well, the topic. And of course, there was hope for Bitcoin reserves. There could be some news coming. Well, what we heard, and Elon was pretty happy about that. That was the topic around electric energy and so on. Yeah, that was all very tutti-frutti and nice, but in the end, he didn't say a word about crypto. We lost right away at first before we get to the other news. So you see, there was a clean breakout here, but also the corresponding pullback. And it was a decent drop down. However, it was tested right here and then decided exactly right away. So we're not going straight up anymore, as you can really see how very volatile it was last night. So we were all kind of in the range during Donald Trump's speech, and no one really knew. And then there was the pullback down, where you could really notice he's not talking about crypto at all. Well, now back towards our trend line, or rather, this trend channel here, let's wait and see what happens. Again, I say the news should decide that. By the way, if you like this video, I totally forgot to say that would be really cool. If you leave a subscription down below and also activate the bell so you don't miss any important info. And if you really liked the video, a like should also boost the algorithm. Or of course, feel free to leave a comment as well. That would be really nice and I would be super happy about it. And let's be honest, it also brings it further. And especially when it comes to added value, I have something for you. And it's something new. I'm not talking about the PioneX grid bot. You already know that one. It's definitely very tasty just letting it work passively. Because as you can see here, such fluctuations trigger the grids automatically, buying, selling, and so on. So I can tell you, in the 37 days that the current one has been running for me, we're sitting at around a grid profit of nearly 80%. Plus, it's pretty wild. So especially when you do that with the right leverage, even without leverage, there's a way to increase XRP without risk. I also showed that recently. If you're interested, click here. What I want to get at now is there are traders out there, or rather people who say, are these signals good? Are they bad? Can I trust them? And so on. we're starting something new now, which is completely free for you 100%. And I find that very, very good because this also shows the traders who pay attention to their performance and do not sell any trading signals or even better, some coaching and the like. No, they show, hey, we really deliver. We're talking about two professional traders who simply started an account with 4K. So dollars, and from that from 2 months ago, $30,000. They made dollars. The hit rate is just around 70 to 80%. It's all happening through BingX. So you have a licensed exchange in the background. So there is a separate group for that. That means if you're up for it and want to completely copy these trading signals, and in the best case, not all trades will go through, that's completely clear. I hope so for everyone. However, the hit rate is really strong. And if you want to take advantage of all this, then check out the description. Here's the registration link to BingX. You also have the opportunity to win up to $6,000 to win. So that's also quite nice. Then in the second step, you deposit at least $100. And then you send me a private message on Telegram. So my Telegram account is also linked below. And then you send me your BingX shoe ID. So your username. And then you'll be added to the group and receive the trading signals. I personally think it's pretty cool. Feel free to write in the comments what you think about that before we get to XRP. Just a quick personal opinion regarding the First Lady's memecoin. So let's be realistic, and you can feel free to hate me for it. Of course, there might be more people who have entered the space now, who in the best case have now been completely burned. And let's be realistic, shall we? So the Trump family, they really set an example how influencer marketing works at the next level. So yeah, what should I say? A family that became crypto billionaires over a weekend. So we're talking about 2 days. I won't say anything more about that because there are definitely enough people here who bought in the night blank hype during this upward trend. And what happened? Yes, congratulations, you unfortunately lost. And many are now naturally asking the question, what's next? So people have already speculated because Ethereum, they were bought up in large quantities by his DeFi project. Then now it's also been put into staking. Additionally, domains were purchased. Now one could say, yeah, okay, maybe they just secured them because clearly a domain only exists once. And if someone else has it now, that would be pretty stupid. But all in all, friends, you can get hype somewhere else. There are plenty of channels out there that will wildly tell you about the green toast. Just this, sorry. That was absolutely enrichment on the part of the current US president. So, guys, just take a look at this. I'm not going to say anything more about that. And now I want to earnestly warn you. I opened X this morning and then you read here. President Trump has just signed an executive order removing all capital gains tax on US-based cryptocurrencies. Okay, this is huge. Yeah, that would be huge, but wait a minute, what he says in the video, that's under the post because exactly, he says, this is actually an executive order that targets cartels and organized foreign criminal organizations. Okay, so to sum it up, it's about cartels and crime and the like, and yes, that fits perfectly with the post. So friends, please don't fall for blind hype just because some bird out there is promoting something. And of course, this whole thing is pushing it. So we see, well, of course, about Elon Musk, the Hitler salute, which is now going completely viral. We have here, day one, let me guess, it's about Donald Trump. Definitely, get ready for it. We know relatively little. Let me give you a few facts about what he has signed so far. That's coming up soon, along with the XRP news, which are really facts. However, there's so much bullshit going around right now to steer the market in any direction. Be careful, Google it, and really do your own research. And by the way, the biggest news aren't exempt from these false reports either. Because about 9 hours ago, well, of course, everyone wants to be the first to get something out there. Suddenly, there's this news market, Ojeda, Hope I pronounced it right. So feel free to hate me for it. Some people really enjoy doing that. Anyway, he is now the new chairman of the SEC. The article doesn't say anything more about it. I have. By the way, I've reported about him before. That wouldn't be so fatal either. But everyone is asking, wait, what about Paul Atkins? He's not going to do that after all, and so on. So if you're interested, because the beloved market will stay in the SEC, feel free to click in here. But there are indeed new reports now. And I also have an article that's just a bit fresher. Yes, Gary Gensler is leaving the SEC. We know that. And now it gets interesting. Market Ojeda is becoming SEC. He'll only be chairman until the Senate confirmation for Paul Atkins. There it is. So, friends, we can all breathe a sigh of relief. And by the way, it's also pretty pro-crypto there. So it's not just because of Atkins, but we also have Caroline First, who is taking over the interim leadership at the SEC, or rather at the CFTC. Now, many are asking, yeah, okay, I know the SEC, but what is the CFTC? You can see that here. I pulled that out from Wikipedia for you. No costs or efforts were spared to spread all the information here. We're talking about an independent agency of the United States, and it regulates the futures and options markets in the USA. Ha! You see, a subscription to Uptrend is always worth it. Learn something new. Again, right. And also the heat map is now showing more of the, and it's dropping a bit downwards because this here, ooh, that looks really bad. So we can also see here, of course, that there has been such a massive increase. There are incredibly many now beautifully and long screwed in. So if we take a look at this, oh, what a surprise. That was exactly at the time of the speech. And the market makers played a really beautiful game there. Well, now we have an over-leveraged long position in here, and they obviously want to be picked up again right away. That's why there was a pullback here. And now the big question remains, if you look at it from a weekly perspective, there's not much to gain up there. And yes, it's not that far down here anymore. So it could theoretically happen that we might still see the 95K. Now let's zoom out a bit more. What's being offered there? Yes. So there's room up there. So it looks more like we're going to go a bit further down. But we must not forget that either it will, of course, be crucial now what kind of news is coming. So you can see that here within a day, up there, there's already quite a bit. If corresponding executive orders are signed there, I'll get right to it. Because this is especially relevant for XRP. Then it can also go accordingly here, going up. And let's take a look further. Yes, banks should be able to buy Bitcoin and XRP directly through new executive orders. By the way, all the other cryptocurrencies are included in that too. But of course, the question is always what exactly is being bought there. And we're talking about this at CB 121 here. I've reported on that quite a few times now. It's basically about the fact that back then the SEC, a law was passed which actually made it extremely difficult for banks, financial institutions, and even companies to invest in cryptocurrencies. Because that means, for example, if they held $1 million in Bitcoin, then they also had to set aside that $1 million in liquid assets, meaning in dollars, at the same time. That might still work with $1 million, but anything beyond that, so you can answer it yourself. And now there's speculation that this will be lifted today through an executive order. I'll tell you right now whether it has been lifted at the time of this recording. First of all, for all the Ripple Moon boys, buckle up because things could really get wild now. And actually, and I'm going to present this completely neutrally without hype, because please be aware of this at this point. It could also turn out completely differently what the SEC decides. In the end, Thursday, 23 January, there will be a closed meeting. So for everyone who doesn't speak English, it's closed. So no one has the information right now. Please don't fall for any influencers out there who might leak something really crazy right now. It definitely looks like, according to the Sunshine Act, notice that we don't know for sure. We're talking about the initiation and resolution of legal actions as the very first point mentioned here. There are now a few more points here, but just that could indicate something theoretically. Some legal actions should be put to the test. Now, it could, of course, be that a legal dispute with XRP is being settled. If that happens, then an XRP ETF could come. Or rather, nothing stands in the way of that. And now it gets exciting, because what we already know is that XRP is clearly focusing on the USA. Are we seeing this with jobs that are being advertised and so on and so forth? So it's a give and take. And so the big question now is, how can Trump get involved in this? But we also know that the lovely market is crypto friendly. And the others who are still rocking it in the SEC Commission aren't really that negative either. So let's wait and see. But Thursday, depending on when this session is, there could possibly be real breaking news on Thursday or Friday. As for XRP, but Dear Donnie definitely has something on the agenda today by means of executive order. And now we will see, because Ross Ulbricht is up for a pardon, at least if he keeps his word. Because back then he said, if you vote for me, I will convert Ross Ulbricht's sentence into a punishment he has already served. So that means a pardon. The punishment he has already served, so that means a pardon. And now it gets exciting. Will that really happen? Whether that happens today, whether he really keeps his word 100%, will it happen at some later point? Because that could give a solid push to bring it into the whole space. And since you get hype elsewhere as promised, I just took a look. At the time of this recording, what exactly has been issued? So is Ulbricht maybe already involved? Has SAB 1 and 21 already been issued and so on? And I unfortunately have to tell you, not right now. So what has just been issued? We all noticed that too. TikTok, is it available in the USA again, at least for the next 100 days? Let's see if it will be the case beyond that. He has issued other topics, but he definitely hasn't issued that, and that's exactly the point. Also, by the way, just like with the capital gains tax, which is being lifted on cryptocurrencies, that's not on the list either. So let's just summarize. There's a lot being talked about out there. No one really knows what's going on. And of course, if you like this video and it aligns with the neutrality we should all have when investing, then feel free to subscribe and give a thumbs up, a like. That's supposed to boost the algorithm that we should all have when investing. Then feel free to subscribe and give a thumbs up, a like. That's supposed to boost the algorithm. Otherwise, I can only give you the tip. Even though this video is a bit older, check this out, because it's about that. What fatal mistake should you not make right now? And that's more relevant than ever. Otherwise, we'll see each other tomorrow in the next video. I hope you liked it. Until then, all the best. Ciao.